a fight for equality and justice. The civil rights movement was a struggle that aimed to secure equal rights and justice for African Americans. Spanning from 1954–1968, the movement was a monumental event in American history, marked by protests, demonstrations, and acts of civil disobedience. This video will provide a detailed overview of the civil rights movement, its leaders, and its impact on American society. The civil rights movement had its origins in the United States Supreme Court decision of 1954, Brown v. Board of Education, which declared segregation in public schools unconstitutional. The ruling set a precedent for the civil rights movement, and soon, African Americans would begin protesting in order to assert their civil rights. One of the key figures of the civil rights movement was Martin Luther King Jr. King was a Baptist minister who advocated for nonviolent protests and civil disobedience. He is best known for his famous "I Have a Dream" speech, which he delivered during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom in 1963. The civil rights movement also had numerous other leaders, including Rosa Parks, who refused to give up a bus seat to a white person in Montgomery, Alabama, in 1955. Her act of civil disobedience led to the Montgomery bus boycott, a year-long boycott of the city's buses by African Americans. Another key leader was Malcolm X, who advocated for black separatism and self-defense. Malcolm X's approach contrasted with King's nonviolent philosophy. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a crucial moment in the civil rights movement, and it was signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson. The act banned discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. It also protected voting rights and prohibited racial segregation in schools, workplaces, and public accommodations. The Voting Rights Act of 1965 followed a year later, which ended discriminatory voting practices, such as poll taxes and literacy tests, that had been used to prevent African Americans from voting. Despite the progress made during the civil rights movement, there were still many challenges. The movement was met with violent opposition, including bombings, lynchings, and violence against protesters. In 1968, King was assassinated, which plunged the nation into mourning and led to riots in several cities. However, the civil rights movement marked a turning point in American history and paved the way for significant social and political change. Today, we celebrate the many heroes of the civil rights movement and honor their legacy by continuing efforts to fight injustice and discrimination in all its forms.